Извинете, уште 2 минутки, 5 минутки, ајде да доцниме, па ќе се придржуваме до време до 1 часот ќе завршиме. Знаеме дека имате и многу работа и веќе е лето и луѓе се поодмори, имавме многу поголем интерес на предходните, ама тоа е чисто ради тоа што беше тајмингот подобар. Ам, Ама очекуваме уште луѓе да ни се приклучат.
Здраво, добар ден.
Добар ден, Левкија.
Како сте, добри?
Добри, супер, како сте вие?
Крушево, добро е, одлично. Да пренесиме малку од убавата енергија и клима од Крушево до Скопје.
Да, сигурно е поладно него Скопје, тоа
Во
прво.
секој случај, во секој случај.
Океј, Кате, може да почнеме? Полека.
Може.
Добро, ќе смирам јас сега на англиски. Мухамед, извини, ние малку на македонски се зборувавме, ама сите ни се од Македонија учесници. But I'll switch to English now, and I would like to kindly welcome all of you and thank you for being here. It's already summer, so we appreciate your time and efforts in these heat waves. My name is Marian, and I come from Arno, and we are part of the project Civil Society and Youth for Inclusive and Sustainable Development through Circular Economy in North Macedonia, which is funded by the European Union. And as you may know, part of you were active in the previous living libraries. This is one of the activities of the project that aims to transfer best practices and experiences from North Macedonia, but also from the other countries in the region in circular economy. And I'm really glad that this series of living libraries, which is a more, let's say, intimate conversation with the founders of the circular businesses, is done with Yes for Less. And Yes for Less is one of our alumni from the Arno programs, from the Regional Incubator for Social Entrepreneurs, and the biggest, most organic, and most beautiful eco community in our country. The previous two living libraries with the Macedonian circular businesses, the first one we had with Ecolife from Gevgelia, and the second one was with Reto Nades from Batinci, a small village near Skopje. But from now on, we go, let's say, regional or international, and we're covering stories from the Western Balkan region, but also from the Czech Republic as well. So without further ado, I just want to give the floor to Kate from Yes for Less, who will introduce our guest today. And I want to really encourage you to be active, to ask questions, because this should be more interactive session where Mohammed is at your disposal to learn more about what he is doing since 2016, if I'm not wrong. So Kate, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Marian. Hello, everyone. I'm Katerina from Yes for Less, as Marian already introduced me. And today with us, we have Mohammed Yusufagic, representing Print Your Fix. And he will tell us more about how he's extending the life of different items that we use in our everyday life by 3D printing broken parts that cannot be found in the store, or it's difficult to find them. I have a personal story of something that I'm interested if it could be fixed that happened to me some days ago. So I was on holidays last week and I took out swimming goggles from my wardrobe that I have them for several years, but I haven't used them. So there is like a piece of plastic between them here, and it just made a crack. So they're useless now. You know, like they even had the stickers on them. I never used them, but just because of the little piece of plastic that I'm sure I cannot find it anywhere because they are just sold as a full product and that's it. I have to throw them away. So that is one example that Mohammed will explain us more if it can be fixed, how it can be fixed, what is the process, and all the details. So welcome, Mohammed. How are you today first?
Thank you for having me. I'm good.
Nice to see you here also. So regarding the questions, if someone has a question, please just raise your hand and feel free to interrupt us. We'll have 10-15 minutes at the end, especially dedicated to questions, but also if a question rises during the session, don't hesitate to ask it. So my first question for Mohammed is this interest for 3D printing and repairing stuff. As far as I know from the Arno interview that was done with you, was born during your student days. So how exactly did your interest in electronics and repairing stuff was born?
My interest started when I was young, before high school, but majority of work started in high school, first year, second year of high school. That's 2013, 2014. Then I started repairing things and reselling them online. Amongst them were graphical calculators for special departments of high school, like Oxford and Harvard department. Then in third year of high school and fourth, I started preparing myself for Faculty of Mechanical Engineering. Started learning CAD/CAM softwares in company inside Valjevo. It is a predominant big company that produces furniture in Sarajevo. And that was the beginning of my story, let's say, about electronics and repair, because there is a lot of interconnecting parts between CAD/CAM solutions with designing repairs in 3D softwares, printing them, and repairing electronics. So that's my beginning.
Did you maybe have an influence from your parents, grandparents? Because we know that our grandparents and parents also used to be very focused on repairing stuff at home. And I think we still have that up to some extent, but maybe it motivated some people more than others. So I'm just curious if you had someone in the family that was like your role model in fixing stuff.
I had a lot of family members that were a role model. One was repairing cars. My uncle was repairing cars, and my father finished mechanical engineering, Faculty of Mechanical Engineering. So I have a role in my near life. Also, I have a lot of role models online on YouTube. A lot of creators that I follow that repair electronics, that teach about electronics and 3D printing and so on. And I look up to them regarding that knowledge.
Nice. Okay, so in the interview for Arno, you said that you bought your first 3D printer back in 2016. So I'm curious, like, how much did you know about the power of 3D printing back then? And what convinced you to spend 250 or 300 euros for a 3D printer? Because you were a student, so I guess you had like limited amount of money. So you had to make a decision to buy this. How did that happen?
It happened easily. For 4 years while I was in high school, I learned how to repair things. And when I finished that and started to go to mechanical engineering faculty, I have seen a great opportunity in 3D printing to implement it as a new tool in order to make more repairs and to resell more stuff doing those repairs. I also finished education for working on CNC machines that cost about 500 euros, very expensive machines. And I was impressed that there was possibility to buy cheap 3D printer for 200, 300 euros. And I decided to get one. Of course, that printer was not the best one. It was a Delta Mini Co-cell. It was cheap for a reason. And when I imported it in Bosnia, it was over 150 euros. So I had to pay taxes, and taxes were the same as the price of the printer. So the price accumulated of that printer, but it was interesting experience. I learned a lot about it. Later on, I bought my second printer in Germany for 350 euros. And that was the beginning of this story with these cheap 3D printers.
Okay. And can you explain a bit more about the CNC machines? Because I don't come from the mechanical engineering field, so I have no idea what it is and what's the difference between the 3D printers and the CNC machines.
3D printers and CNC machines are similar. They are computer numerically controlled machines. So you use computer to control them with some kind of software. Now CNC machines use like a whole element of material and then use different kind of tools to remove material from that piece, from that element. But with 3D printing, it is additive technology. It adds layer by layer, so it has less weights. That is the main difference. These CNC machines that I was working on were HOMAG CNC machines, and they were industrial ones, very expensive. They have 4 axes, like 10 tools, 10 different tools, and they are primarily used for drilling holes for furniture manufacturing, for kitchens and desks and so on.
Okay. Yeah, I've 3D printed a piece once myself, so I think I understand, like when you 3D print, it's like whatever you design, you get that piece as it is, and in the CNC, it prints like a block and then it takes out the parts. That's...
Yes, you have a block of material and then you reduce it by removing piece by piece. Here you add piece by piece in 3D printing.
Okay, I see. And now I'm curious about how did this, like, let's say, not that professional first 3D printer turned into the story of Print Your Fix? Like, what happened in the years in between? Actually, when was Print Your Fix born, and how did you decide to turn it into a business?
Idea was born in 2023 when I was in exchange in Ljubljana for master thesis. And I decided that I need a little nicer name for idea that I want to present to be easily searchable, so optimized and so on. So I decided to use Print Your Fix idea because it describes the best what I want to do with this technology. Now, these first 3D printers were really cheap, really bad for use. And I learned a lot on them because I had to calibrate them constantly, fix them, change parts. Usually they will break, cables will fall out of them. Then magic smoke will be released from motherboards and so on. For example, I only used for 3 months the first printer before it broke. Then I got other printer, and I invested in it. I got it for 350 euros, and I invested 500 euros to make it printable. I changed everything, and at the end, problem was with design of movement of printer, so it cannot be fixed. And these first 3D printers introduced many people to 3D printing, but many people had bad experience with them. So they decided to focus on other things and not 3D printing. With the new generation of 3D printers like K1 Max, Bumble Up, many people can use these 3D printers conveniently.
Okay, Irina has a question.
Yeah, going back a bit to the CNC machine and the 3D printer, there is a myth, or might be a true, I'm not sure, that the 3D printer is using a lot of electricity and it's super slow. Is this true, Mohammed?
It was true. Now it is not true. 3D printers are very fast.
Opinion.
It is just opinion. But it was true before. But now they are very fast and very efficient. They waste
and
a
they
little
don't
bit of
make
energy.
you thousands of euro of electricity bill.
No, the worst bill that I had was 25 euros extra. So it's
Really?
not a big difference. And it worked for 30 days, 24 hours.
Really?
30 days, 24
I
hours.
never turn off my
Cheaper
printers. They're always on.
electricity in Bosnia.
That was back in 2016, no?
It is in 2023, actually, 24.
Ah, okay, with this one. Okay.
Okay, thank you. It's a big myth that now we have busted, that it's no longer true. So we can encourage people not to be afraid to use 3D printer because of electricity bills. Super,
Yes.
thank you. Sorry for the question. We have another one, Kate, in the chat. And I apologize for jumping in, but I was so curious. It troubles me for the last years. Like, is this
No.
true?
Yeah, we'll address the question about the materials a bit later on. So Levkia, in few minutes, you'll have it answered. So there are like 7 years between 2016 and 2023 when you actually got the idea to put a name on what you wanted to become a business. So I'm curious, like, did anyone pay for the service that you're offering now with Print Your Fix before 2023, or you got your first like official client once you set the brand name and everything?
Usually I had clients under different name also before this, but it was nothing official. Last year, actually this year, I started with promoting myself more on local platforms. So it was just putting idea out and looking what is the response of the community and internationally, locally, and so on.
Okay, so before it was like the word of mouth, and then once you started promoting yourself, you started getting like clients that you don't know. I mean,
yes,
people
it was. Yes, because I did not have actually that much of a time because of faculty to work on this idea. But when I finished that, I started working intensively on this idea. Okay. So from 23 to now, it's more intensive work in this, especially 2024. I then started writing a business plan, applied for some grants, and of course did not get them. And then I started doing other things that can improve future reference for this job.
Okay. And in the interview, there was written that you fixed 1,000 items so far. What kind of items are these? Like, I was trying to think without putting it on ChatGPT, of course, like which parts from items that we use in our everyday life could be broken, because I know it happens, but then when I tried to think, I was like, I don't really have an idea what this could be. So could you give us some examples of?
Yes, most items are gears in the machines that we use, in appliances in our home that we use, and in the cars. And the second one after gears is headphones, especially Sony headphones, because when people are taking them off the head, they are putting the force on the right or left side, depending what is dominant hand. And
Like,
then after like this, and then sometimes with both hands when they take them, they are putting pressure on this part here that is moving up and down, and it breaks. And many people have good connection with Sony headphones, especially more expensive ones, because they have good speakers in them. And when they break them, they cannot buy new ones, because Sony is always pushing new product. And the new product does not mean that it's better product. So usually after gears, I fix a lot of headphones for people, and they usually are very happy when they get their headphones fixed, because they don't want to change them. And these plastic parts are also prone to failure because of plastic characteristics. So maybe in 5 years, this part will break on its own. So now there is option for you to print it and completely replace it and make these headphones functional again. Then after that, I have different tasks. Every task is unique. I did a lot of work on solar panels, making junction box for them, so that electronics can be organized inside them. Usually, every task is different. So I cannot like name you 1,000 tasks that I did, but I tried to publish them online. But every publishing of file requires at least 2 to 3 days of work to make it nice. So it's time intensive. So I did not publish everything online, but I have some of them.
Yeah, no, I mean, I got the idea. Like, it's from items that we use every day as headphones to items like for industrial purposes, such as the solar panels that you mentioned. But now I'm curious about the Sony headphones. Like, do you think it's the design of the Sony headphones that make them break, or it's the materials that are of lower quality? Because compared, let's say, to other headphones, what is the difference of why they break more often?
I cannot tell. I think that with production of every new batch of the same headphones or new headphones, there is difference in quality in plastic, in sourcing of plastic. And manufacturer cannot know in long run how many years this plastic will last. Sometimes this plastic lasts longer time, sometimes shorter, and different kinds of plastic need to be put on different places of headset in order for force purposes. You know, when you put it on the head to how do you say it? To continuously distribute,
yeah.
Distribute the force. So, for example, they had a PlayStation for some kind of special headsets, and the plastic that they used was brittle. And when you take them out of the box, they are broken, even though they were in the box for 5 years, factory sealed. And there is a fix online that you can print and put reinforcement so that the force that is applied when you put them on the head does not break them. So that was like one of the solutions. I cannot comment on what these companies do, because they also have a lot of problems with manufacturing, because it's hard to manufacture things for many people and keep consistency in quality.
Yeah, so this, like the headphones being in the box, is similar to what happened to me with the goggles. Like, they were basically unopened for I don't know how many years, and then they just broke when I took them out. So it's happening with many products.
Yes.
I'm curious about the, like, how much the item has to be cheap or expensive in order to be worth it to fix it. Like, in terms of price, I mean, if for example, let's take this Sony headphones as an example. I don't know how much they cost, maybe 200 euros. Like, how much did it cost for the piece to be 3D printed? Because in my head, I think this works only with like higher price items, because if you are fixing like goggles of 20 euros, I'm not sure if many people would pay 10 euros just for, you know, a small part. I don't know how much the 3D printing costs, but do you have like any, let's say, idea of yeah, like how much does the original price of the item needs to be so it's worth to fix it with the 3D printing?
For 3D printing, for example, if you want a price or quotation on 3D printed piece, usually with me, when you're printing with me, it goes from $2.5 or euros to $1,000 plus dollars or euros, depending on the 3D model, printing configuration, and plastic used and post-processing. Do I need to do some manual labor on the part after printing, or is it just out of the printer and shipping to you? I think the main cost here is design, because if glasses cost 20 euros new, for example, I start with design $20 per design if it's under 1 hour. So if it's half an hour, 45 minutes, it's $20. Once I have design, I can print an infinite amount of these replacements. And I can upload them online for other people to use them. Then they can, when they have design, they can print it for 2.5 euros, and then it is economically feasible and doable to repair these cheap things. But if you are starting from scratch from zero, then it has this cost of making design, transforming this reality model or item from this reality that we live in into digital one, and making prototypes of the repair.
Yeah, that makes sense. And in that case, like, let's say a client contacts you for you to design a piece that you have never designed before. And there is the possibility that some other client asks for it later on. So how does it work in terms of, like, do you charge the big price to the first client that asks it? And then if someone else asks for it, they get the lower price because they don't pay for the design? Or you kind of, let's say, see the potential of other people asking for that item, so you maybe don't consider the whole price for the design? Because if I'm the first client asking for someone, I may pay $100, but then the next one will pay $5. So how does this work in reality?
Yeah, that is a good question. And there are sometimes more complicated designs, and I don't charge that much for them, because with the model I can make also money. So I charge half the price or 1/3 of the price, because when I have the model, I can sell it to others and reduce the price. If it's a smaller item for repair, then I publish that design online, because not everything needs to be monetized. This can be used to encourage other people to repair things, and can be used for marketing also. People can go to your site, download the model, print it. So depends on the item and design. Sometimes, usually the first customer has to pay for the upfront for the design. But if other one comes and needs the same design, I will just charge for printing.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You kind of
I don't know if anyone will buy again that design. Maybe only this customer will buy that design, and that's it. So I need to secure myself.
Yeah. I guess it's also like learning with experience, as you see which items are requested more often, which like types of items, and which are some very weird ones that you're like, no one will ever ask for this. No.
Yes.
What is your favorite or like the most unusual story of something that you fixed and saved from going to the trash?
Well, for me, every repair and fix is special, unusual, because different things break on different items, and I'm always surprised with the things that break. Some of them are controllers for old video games. My first fix was actually the left trigger of Sega Saturn game, of controller of Sega Saturn game, because it is not possible to buy these parts to replace them. So they have to be or 3D scanned or 3D modeled in CAD/CAM softwares and then 3D printed. Some other fixes are, for example, one person had a pool, and he had skimmer for the pool that regulates overflow of the pool, and it was broken. And he tried to fix it with super glue and some other chemicals, glues and so on, but he failed. And I made not exact replica, but similar replica. And he was really surprised, and he liked the final product. He tried to order that part, but it was discontinued. Everything was functional with this skimmer, only the doors. Then, as I have already said, many headphones, many solar panels, many gears. I also like repairs are interesting, but I also like tinkering, like modifying things. So I also had a couple of upcycle projects, like to extend the life of the product. And one of them was Xbox Kinect scanner. I was like impressed with the idea to use something that was not used, that is now not used for playing games like Kinect, and to transfer it into a 3D scanner. And when I tried to use it as 3D scanner, I had to split the cable, to make new connections with soldering iron, and I was like, this is too much work for a regular person. And I decided to make new case for that Kinect, and to make instructions how to connect all the wires and make it USB compatible. So it's plug and play. So I also like some of these projects. type of projects.
Okay, so yeah, it's not only focused on repairing, but also like merging whatever you have non-functional and making something new. That's
Yes.
Especially, I guess, exciting for the guys, because I haven't played that much games and stuff, but I see that you talk with a lot of passion, and it means to you what you have achieved to make your consoles even better. Okay, now we go to the question regarding the materials. So I know that you use raw plastic and also like bio plastics. And in recent years, we see like more and more projects where they like 3D print or make stuff out of recycled plastic, like they make the filament. So I'm curious, which materials do you use? Do you also use recycled plastic? And what are the limits of the different materials?
In 3D printing, we have at least 40 to 50 different ways of manufacturing. Predominant one for consumer base is FDM 3D printing, FFF 3D printing. It uses spools of filament and of plastic filament for production. The predominant plastics are PLA, prolytic acid, PETG. PLA has organic origin, and PETG has petroleum-based origin. Now, depending on different characteristics and ways of analyzing life cycle assessment and different options of measuring impact on environment, these two plastics are competing with each other. One of the reasons is because PLA requires a lot of fresh organic material, corn or other plants, and they require a lot of fresh water. And when you are growing the plants, you need a lot of chemicals to kill the bugs and other pests. So it goes into groundwater and it pollutes it. And on the other hand, petroleum-based products are just pumped out of the earth. And then we have different kind of petroleum products. And one of them is PETG. So depending on the product that I'm making and on life cycle assessment, end of life cycle assessment, for example, I will decide what plastic I should use. For example, if I make some plastic part for the car and it sits in the car or on top of the car, I will not use PLA because PLA can degrade. It's from organic material. It degrades at 50 Celsius and it is not UV resistant. So if I try to use organic material to be as eco-friendly as I want, I will just make more waste because this item will end in the landfill faster than one with PETG.
Yeah, it will not be.
Yeah, so I predominantly use these two plastics, PLA and PETG. Now, for recycled plastics, usually manufacturers now use also recycled plastics, and they note on the box that it has 10% or 100% recycled plastic. But it is also intensive process because you need to sort the plastic to remove debris from plastic in order for it to be printed on 3D printers. I use also this plastic, but it is not still available in Sarajevo, in Bosnia and Herzegovina. I know that in Ljubljana, they have like special batch of filament that is 100% recycled. Also, there were projects from Russia, PET pool project. It was the first project that started recycling plastic bottles, cutting strips of plastic bottles, extruding them through the nozzle, and then making filament, and then using these plastic bottles to print. I also tried that project. I made some of my own contribution to cutting mechanism of the plastic. But problem with that is you need to connect these plastics. And if you want to get 1 kilo of plastic, one spool of plastic, you need 50 to 100 plastic bottles, depending on the thickness of the bottle. And the problem is that you inhale this microplastic in yourself. So you always have to consider these different types of impacts. If you want to recycle it yourself, you can do it. It is labor intensive. You can recycle these PET bottles. You can print with them. They are good. But in the bigger picture. But if you have one center that you can send all the bottles, recycle them, shred them, then it would be worth it.
Yeah, that's interesting, because we, like, a lot of people that are not experts in the field, they think really like, oh, this is plant-based, so it must be better than plastic, or this is recycled, it must be better than raw plastic. But then there are many things to be considered in the final equation. And regarding the life cycle assessment that you mentioned, do you use like any program or tool or website where you can check it, or the supplier needs to give you this information?
Usually a supplier needs to give you this information, and it is not that easily accessible, this information. Usually when you need to get information from someone that is producing pellets for extrusion of PLA plastic, you need NDA, I think, signed, so that competitors cannot get information about their consumption and waste and so on, because they will probably find out how they produce this plastic, and it is top secret. So I'm usually focused on end of the life cycle assessment. So how long will this item be used? What is the way of disposing it? It is important for choosing the right plastic for right purpose. And when I'm making something, I'm looking for it to last at least 5 years. Yeah, that's it.
And in terms of durability and this end of life analysis, if we compare using raw plastic or recycled plastic, what is the difference? Like you already mentioned about the PLA, that it degrades easier and it's not UV resistant. But regarding the raw plastic and recycled plastic, is there any difference?
Regarding the plastics, it's a very hard topic to talk about because first thing that was developed was 3D printing. And then from 2016 to now, they started developing new plastics. So for example, you have 100 different types of PLA, if not 1,000 different types. So maybe there is some new PLA composite that is UV resistant. Maybe new composite does not degrade at 50 Celsius, does not compose. Maybe it composes at 100 Celsius and so on. So I cannot with 100% certainty tell what some plastic will do. I know that when you are making fresh plastic, virgin plastic, you can guarantee its properties, mechanical properties. But if you are recycling, there is always possibility that you will get a different kind of plastic mixed. And you always need to test every batch to see what are the mechanical properties. Are they into something that you are marketing as possibility if you're a manufacturer? So recycled plastics are usually have inferior quality, and some other additives are added to increase mechanical properties or aesthetic properties compared to virgin.
Okay, that sounds complicated. Yeah, but it's good to know like all these different nuances regarding the materials. We have some questions from the audience regarding some topics that we talked about before, so maybe we can address them now. So one is, do you use a specific software, and how do you design the replaceable parts?
Softwares that I use, that I know to use, are CATIA, SolidWorks, and FreeCAD. Now, for myself, I do not use CATIA and SolidWorks. The reason for that is they are not open source. I need to pay license, and I don't want to pirate them. And I like to own my design. So I predominantly use FreeCAD for my design because it has a great opportunity. It's open source. European Union is pushing open source projects. It likes open source idea. And when I make design, I own it. I don't have to buy license. So predominantly for CAD/CAM design, I use FreeCAD. And for my printers as operating systems, I use Clipper.
Okay. And the second question is, regarding the Sony headphones, do you think it's intentional designing things to have broken parts like the Sony headphones? Do they know what their users are facing? Are there online forums where people complain? Are they ignoring their clients?
Big companies have a hard task, hard job. They always need to produce new product, and every product needs to have higher quality. And if you increase quality too much, then you will not have consumer, but you invested millions in factory. I don't think that they are doing that intentionally. I think that they are just looking to have a bigger margin of profit and to make as much of these headphones that are usable, so that people will buy them again. I think they are looking for a middle line in production process now. Everyone is looking in this middle line. No one is looking to make the best possible product and the worst possible. Just the middle, something that is useful and that will provide comfort to consumer and profit to manufacturer.
Yeah, it's basically the capitalism system that everyone has to aim for profit always. So it's like, it's a bit difficult to think of. I mean, there are models like Apple wanted to start renting the phones instead of buying them. So then customers return them and they disassemble them. So they like make new phones out of that. But yeah, it's definitely a challenge. Like even, let's say Sony could sell these 3D printed repair parts, but they would still have lower value than the whole new set of headphones.
Yeah, and it's a problem to monetize it. They will need to sell the model. And how will they protect it from piracy, that model? Once you send the document, it belongs to the internet. Someone will always have it on PC. You can never erase it from every PC. So they need to find a way to monetize that if they want to go in that direction. And in that case, what is going to happen with their facility of production, with their factory, when they are producing now these plastic parts? It is going to be produced in Bosnia, in Macedonia, in every household then. So what is the point of the company?
Exactly. Kata, if I may jump in, this is the biggest controversy. So in Europe, there is already a legislation that will push for private sector for the products they produce to issue a digital passport. In the digital passport, it will be the origin, the materials, how it was produced, which resources have been used. But also, I think the biggest controversy, I'm not sure, I'm not expert, this is also new for Arno. The biggest controversy is in the design itself. So because of copyrights and patents, they will not be able to give you the full design because, as you said, like I want to repair it. It's my right to repair, because if I don't repair, it means that I don't own it. This is one of the messages from the manifesto. But then the thing is that the company says, but this is our patent. This is our intellectual copyrighted product. Like if we give you the full design, then anybody else can copy. But here and there, I think European Union is pushing more for this 3D printing as repair, because from what we know from the networks that we follow and the legislations, there is something called planned obsolescence, like when the guarantee stops, when you immediately see your TV is broken, your vacuum cleaner is no longer working. So it's kind of that they do design their products in a way to be broken and immediately after the guarantee ends. So this is no longer supported because we don't have enough dump on planet Earth where we can put all the products. But then, yeah, about the design itself and how it was built, this is, as you said, Mohammed. But for me, another question, if we don't have the design from the product itself, how can we then print the parts that we need? Do you do scanning? I think there was a question in the chat. Like, I know that for me, I bought a blender because on YouTube, I saw some guys from Russia saying, okay, if something happens to your blender, drop me an email. I will give you the design of this perke, the motor, and you will be immediately having a replacement by your 3D printer. It's very simple to do it, but they have the design already. So how do you do it if you don't have the original design from the product? Do you scan? Do you improvise? Can you just explain this a bit?
Yes, I can explain. So usually it's process called reverse engineering. So you have part and you take pictures, video, or you 3D scan it and you make a new model out of it. And then you are tweaking that model, adding or removing parts of that model and making it compatible with 3D printing and repair. So it is a lot of manual labor and it is literally producing a new design.
One more sub question. Do you think that they can sue you for this? Like if you go public and say, hey guys, I'm based in Bosnia, I have the design for this and these headphones, for this and these blenders. If you need for 3D printing, just reach out. Do you think this is like in the conflict zone?
I don't know. I don't know. I did not try it. I don't want to try it. I'm just like offering a service to repair. Now, what is repaired? I don't know. But yeah, it is a controversial question. But one thing that can prevent that from happening is that in the law, it can be written for company to have maybe 5 years, 4 years of period to return its money. And when the product is obsolete, a company needs to release files for it to be repairable because we are buying that product, we own it. And they could not make that product if we did not finance that product. So when they make their return of investment, they can release these files online on GitHub or on their website, but it's better on GitHub because on their website, they can always remove it. They can say something happened and no files anymore. So there should be like a centralized software, centralized system that has, or server that has these files on it. And by law, it should be regulated like after 3 years, 5 years, when product is obsolete, you have all files. Then you can repair it and make a modification of the file.
Perfect. And this is how China, at least from what I know, that's why they progress so much. And that's why they are, let's say, the kings and queens of copying products, because they have very low time for protecting the intellectual property. So they release all the files and they say, guys, this is the product. If you can build on us, if you can improve it, go ahead. But this is how they build very, very strong economy, at least from what I know. Because they say after some time, okay, this is how it's done. If somebody wants to upgrade it, this is it. But great, yeah. Thank you for confirming that this is the way forward.
I think it is, yeah.
Sharing is caring. Conclusion from this discussion. Thank you, Irina, for the questions. Great discussion, I think. I want to ask, what are the reactions from the people in Bosnia regarding Print Your Fix? Like not only clients, but people that, I don't know, you have pitched the idea or they have found out about you through some channel. Are they showing interest, or like you need to explain them what's the purpose and why should we do this? And yeah, how is it generally accepted so far since you launched in 2023?
In Sarajevo, in Bosnia, it is relatively well accepted because people in Sarajevo, because of the war was 30 years ago, and people are used to recycling things, repairing things, making the best of things they have. So idea of repair, recycling, upcycling, it is nothing new in Sarajevo. And 3D printing is just a new tool that is allowing them to make bigger progress in that regard. So they can fix and repair more parts, and they like the idea. I had a lot of clients, not only me, but many other people that are doing this 3D printing things, like doing making new models, printing them, finding different kind of solutions. They have had a lot of customers, and explanations are not needed. This is relatively new technology, but people are informed about it. They know how it works, and they are there to pay you to finish the job. So they don't have to think about how to design thing, what parameters to set for printing. They just want things done. So response from communities in Sarajevo, in Bosnia, in general, is good.
This both from young and older people?
Yes, from both young and older, but you always have people that are on their hand, a little bit special. So I had probably 3 to 4 encounters like that, but you cannot do anything about it. Usually people are impressed with technology, they like what they can get, and sometimes if a customer is looking into too much of the details, you need to explain him that it is not the perfect product. There will be some problems with it. You will see layers, you will see different things. So if you expect it to be like out of the factory, it is not going to happen, at least for now. So they need to know that in advance.
Yeah, it's not the perfect solution that can come with a guarantee of 10 years, as you said, because it's a very specific process, but still it's a good solution, considering the other solution is like just to throw the product away. Okay, and do you collaborate with any like repair cafes or maybe organizations like in Skopje in April, Arno opened the first repair cafe. And it also has a great reaction from the audience. I don't know if something like this exists in Bosnia or in Sarajevo.
In Sarajevo, I think that there is a couple of organizations. I know at least of one that is doing 3D printing and engineering. That is NGO. But I don't think that they are doing it like the way that you are doing it with this cafe repair shop and so on. I don't know many people that do this in Sarajevo. I know 4 people with which I'm working with that are doing 3D printing, and everyone is expert in a different field of implementing this 3D printing technology.
Different aspects.
So I know people around me, but we don't have any organization that implements this, like that has a working office and so on.
Yeah, we need to connect you with one. Actually, we found a partner from Bosnia. It's not from Sarajevo, it's from Mostar, and they're called Garaja. And they're based at the university, and they're more like Fab Lab, but they were super interested to meet you. And yeah, we are waiting for Erasmus results to see if we have approved projects so we can work between each other. Yeah, but I think these communities are growing, and yeah, and they will pop up like crazy. It's because of needs, but yeah, we need to connect you with Garaja. Mohammed, drop me an email if I forget to do that.
Deal.
Great. Okay, we have 4 minutes until 1, so I'll just raise the floor for the audience if someone wants to ask something. Like, I have more questions for you, but let's see if someone from the audience wants to ask something. Okay, it seems like no. So I'll continue with my last 2 questions. So one is, how do you see the role of 3D printing in terms of repairing things in the next 5-10 years? Like, you also mentioned that you're doing a PhD now. I don't know, I didn't hear if it's also related to 3D printing. I assume yes. So like what are the current problems, who is working on them, and how are they being solved? So how do you think will this field evolve in the next 5-10 years?
I think it has great potential, this field. Now, I don't think that every household will have 3D printer. Like today, not every household has a regular regular printer for paper, and the need for paper is bigger than for repair. But I think that there will be like special places in the city, or more places than one in the city, where people can go and repair their things. And if someone has a lot of things to repair, he can always buy 3D printer. I also think that the 3D printers will be implemented in kitchens. So maybe you will have some kind of 3D printer to print different kind of cookies or food. And at the end, you will be able also to print house, probably, with these 3D printers. So it does not have to be a regular 3D printer. It can be a robotic car that can be used as 3D printer. So it is more feasible. Now, the biggest problem is material, how to make this material, expense of transporting it. So the whole point now is developing material from a local resource so that it is cheap, affordable, and of high quality. And it fits the local climate and properties of that local place, so the building can survive. So I think that big progress will be made in 5-10 years, and probably in 2050 it will be top technology.
We are
But
waiting.
if I may, I want to ask Mohammed, where are you getting all this information? Is there an online community? Are you part of some groups, chats? How do you keep in touch with the topic and all this daily news and progress?
For colleagues.
I just research. I have internet and I'm interested in this thing, and I'm just researching, looking through articles, looking through different documents from European Union and their projections, because they have big think tanks and they are developing strategies. So if they are developing strategy for something, then it must be good and will probably be implemented. So I'm getting my information from different places. I'm not part of any group. I'm a standalone person, but I'm optimistic about this, and I see great potential in this. So yeah.
Super, because we also had some chats about what type of software you use, and this went, of course, on air. Can you, as a follow-up of this, send us the names of the programs you're using and also some online resources for the people that want to be more informed about this? They can click and be informed.
We already answered that question. But
Yeah, but I was thinking maybe we can send it in email to everybody that was here. So yeah.
I can. I will do that.
Thank you.
No problem.
And my final question is, I don't know if we have someone in the audience. Actually, I know there's at least one person that is working or experimenting with 3D printing. So what would be your recommendation if someone wants to start, let's say, a career or just like have 3D printing as a hobby? Where would you start? Because it looks a bit scary with all the designing parts, buying a printer and everything.
It's a hard question. It depends what type of person is asking. If he's more on a geek side, likes to learn and think about electronics, then probably he will need, or she will need, to buy some older model and learn harder way about 3D printing, so that the person can then repair it and make modification. But if it is someone that likes plug and play solutions, just to plug it in the wall and start using it, then I recommend probably Bamboo Lab, because it is cheapest and it is most optimized solution. I do not exactly support that company to the greater extent, because it is not open source, it is closed sourced, and they are sending all information that they gather to their servers in China. And they're training the AI with our images. So you are not free to disconnect it. You can put tape over it, but they have 1,000 sensors in printer. So they are cheap, but they're collecting a lot of data, and you cannot opt out of that. But if you want a flawless experience out of the box, I recommend Bamboo Lab, then Gravity printers. They are lacking a little bit behind Bamboo Lab, but they are open source. They use Clipper. as operating system, so you can regulate data that is being sent to the outside servers. So if you have some lab and you do not want to compromise your research, you can use K1 Quality, probably. Yeah.
How is the second one called?
Quality, K1 Max, K1 Max, K2. But of course, we have solutions from Europe like Prusa printers, Ultimaker, different ones, but usually from China, they're cheaper.
Okay. Okay, we'll anyway share your contact.
Again, please write them down so we can forward them to the participants. I didn't get the names, so
Okay.
yeah.
We'll just send all these details in the follow-up email. Okay, so thank you very much for the answers. I learned something new. I hope the participants also. Last round of questions if someone has something to ask. And if not, we can close the session. Wish you a lot of luck in your PhD and the business.
Yeah. We are super proud to have you here. I have a small announcement to share. Maybe somebody noticed at the beginning that I spoke with Mohammed. We met last year in September, right? In Sarajevo.
Yes.
Mohammed was one of the three finalists that was competing at the regional Green Business Ideas competition. And I would like to announce that soon ARMA is going to publish the new edition of the Green Ideas competition. And we are so happy to have Mohammed as an example of a young person with a passion to change the world, one repair at a time. And yeah, definitely to all the people here, please feel free to think of repairs with 3D printer as a business idea and feel free to apply. This idea completely aligns with all the criteria of the competition. So thank you, Mohammed, for being a role model for this topic. And we hope that you will inspire some of our Macedonian friends, colleagues, and people.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So yeah, we can close the session here. We'll forward all the details, all the names of the programs and the resources that Mohammed mentioned. And yeah, follow us on our social media channels where we'll inform you about the 4th Living Lab session that will happen in September. Thank you. Ciao, ciao.
Gledamo, vidimo se. Ćao, ćao.
Prijatno.